Physicists have been trying to solve quantum mechanics for 100 years. The math works, the predictions are the most accurate in the history of science, but nobody actually understands what it means. And I think the reason is that the answer isn't in physics, it's in being. Here's the thing that breaks quantum mechanics. When you measure a quantum system, when you observe it, it changes. The particle that existed in multiple states at once collapses into one. The act of looking determines the outcome. This is called the measurement problem. And it means that the clean separation between the observer and the thing being observed, at the foundation of all science, doesn't actually hold at the quantum level. I can hear Jiddu now. They're one and the same. The observer is in the experiment. Physics has been trying to explain that away for 100 years, and it can't because it's not a problem to be explained away. It's a signal. It's a signal, people. Every contemplative tradition that has ever pointed at the deepest nature of reality has said some version of the same thing. There is a state prior to thought, prior to language, prior to the division of self and world, where the observer and the observed are not two separate things. Krishnamurti called it being. Zen calls it no self. Advaita Vedanta calls it non-duality. And the consistent description across all of them is it is beyond space-time, beyond duality, beyond the subject-object structure that all language, including math, is built on. Being isn't a concept, it's the ground before concept arises. And here's what stopped me cold. That's exactly where quantum keeps pointing. The measurement problem isn't a technical glitch. It's physics running into the edge of the observer-observed framework and finding that it doesn't hold. Non-duality has been saying the observer-observed split is a construction, not fundamental reality, for thousands of years. These aren't two separate conversations. They're the same conversation happening in different languages, which means the answer to quantum might not be a better equation. It might be a direct understanding of the state prior to the split that the equations keep bumping into. Being isn't mystical, it's structural. It's structural. It's what's there before the division that measurement requires. Here's the real question, and it's not rhetorical. You can't measure being directly because measurement is itself the act of division. The moment you measure, you've already created an observer and an observed. You've left being and entered doing. But you can measure its effects. Neuroscience has started studying people in deep non-dual states, advanced meditators, people in states of unified awareness where the constructed self temporarily dissolves. What they find is measurable. Whole brain gamma coherence, the brain stops operating in fragments and starts operating as one unified thing. The default mode network, the system that constructs the feeling of I as separate from everything else, goes quiet. The absence of separation has a signature. So maybe the instrument physics has been missing isn't a better particle detector. Maybe it's a way to measure the state of the observer directly, to detect when the split has dissolved. To study what happens to quantum systems when they're observed from being rather than from ego. Nobody has run that experiment that I'm aware of. The answer to quantum physics might be in being. Not because being is spiritual or mystical or beyond science, but because being is the state prior to the observer-observed split that quantum mechanics keeps telling us isn't fundamental. The math has been pointing at this for 100 years. We just haven't had the courage to look where it's pointing. So how do you measure being? You measure the absence of separation and then you run the experiment.